Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Dan.
This is the Board Game Rundown, and today we're going to look at Ostia, the Pirates expansion. So in Ostia, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong both times.
Yep. Both of those are wrong.
Both of them are wrong. This game, it uses a Mancala
Yep.
style
Bob,
game.
explain Moncala.
Right, so what you're going to do is you've got your...
What was the score?
We've got this main board where that is like the whole region that we're moving about in. But all the real action happens over on your personal player board, and you're basically going to pick one of these quadrants. You're going to pick up all the ships in one of them. You're going to produce in that area, and you're going to produce equal to what you have with ships. And then you're going to drop one as you go around, and then the action you land on is the action you're going to do. Then you're going to do that action, right? So the actions are moving. So you're going to pay permits to move, and there's a nice little chart there, but the first move is always free. Then there is shipbuilding. So if you pick up from there, you're going to make wood. If you land there, you're going to build ships. And you're going to pay the cost that is on one of your other player boards here. You're going to add that ship somewhere in your region. If you get the larger ship, you're going to put that where you want, and then you're going to pick up one of the smaller ones. You're going to add it over here to this board where we can sail around, because that's where the moving is happening. If you have the order action here, if you pick up there, you're gonna generate wheat. If you land there, you're going to get to fill an order. Filling the orders is fun. You pay the cost in the top left card. If you pay the bonus cost, if it has one, you'll gain 2 of the extra little jars here, amphoras.
Yes.
And then you're going to gain those resources immediately shown on the card, and then all the bottoms, there's different little icons there that are going to be for set collection at the end of the game. If you do the construction action, you're going to, if you pick up from there, you're going to generate steel, and then you'll move around. If you land there, you're going to construct a building, and then you're going to pull off one of your construction discs, and you can place it on a port where you have already passed or you are currently on. With the Pirates expansion, that'll work slightly differently, but mostly the same. Because then you're going to take that building and you can add it to your board, which is then going to give you sort of an enhanced version of that action.
Almost
maybe
engine building.
Yeah. Then there's the trade action. If you go there, it's going to allow you to trade. And then with the trade action, you can also buy one of those achievement cards if you have met that goal already. And those cards are they cost 4 gold, and they give you 12 victory points
each.
The other thing you can do, thank you, Dan, is you can trade at any of the ports where you have built a building. So it could be 2 for 3, 1 for,
one for ones for the basic stuff.
Right. And then there's the administrative action. If you pick up from there, you get nothing. If you land on there, you're going to get to do either the move, the ship build, the fulfill orders, or construction action. And then you're going to pick up all the ships that are there and then move that many, and then you're going to do the action you land on.
Yeah. So like a bonus action.
It's kind of it's kind of nice because it can give you 2 actions, but you don't produce anything. So there's that trade-off there. Now, that's basically how you play the game, or going around, because as you move, you're going to the different ports. It's allowing you to potentially gain different resources. You're going to pick up these extra things, which will give you icons for your set collecting, and usually some gold. And yeah, you're going to the end, and you're trying to meet one of these, get these extra end game bonus points, all while moving up the rewards track, which will make your buildings, your ships, and your amphoras more valuable. Now we add the pirates. Now this is where it gets really interesting. So there's these pirate ships, all right just outside the coast. There's the black ones that are a little bit easier to fight, and then there's the red-sailed ships here, which are the harder ones because they're further back. So you are going to need weapons to defeat them. To buy weapons, you need to be in the trade action spot. So when you take that trade action, you've got a chart here, and it tells you how many weapons you can buy. You can always get one for free, which is really nice, super handy. What you can also do is, as a free action, if you can pay the cost here for one of your legionnaires, you can add him, and then he is sort of a fixed, always gives you
like one combat.
Now, he doesn't count towards the weapon cost for your future legionnaires to unlock, but it does help. Like at the end of the game, I had all 4, so I only needed to come up with a few extra weapons towards the end of the game, because these guys are going to get more difficult the more of these treasure chests.
Yeah, the red ones too.
Right, the red ones too. So that'll take you to the other part of this board. There's these treasure chest board, and there's these events. So as we clear off these treasure chests, we're going to trigger these events. And the events are going to, basically the player with the most of whatever is indicated is going to get rid of a shame or disgrace token, which we'll get into. And if you have the fewest, you're going to gain one. Those are -7 points at the end of the game. There are also going to be spots on here where if you pull off of, that's going to allow you to get rid of a shame. So super important. Someone clearing out all of this is a new endgame trigger to the game. So it adds an additional endgame trigger there. Another thing is there's the Rome City board here. So normally in regular Ostia, you can build and you will take one of these buildings and you're going to add it to your port here. But with this one, you can pay an additional cost and you can place your building under that tile, and then you're going to get whatever that tile says. It might be victory points. It could be things for your set collecting. It could be treasure chests. There's
all types of things.
All sorts of things. So very important, and just gives you another option without like totally gumming up the works too much, right? It's just like another place you can build. Also, you're going to gain a city tile and a supporter tile, and they're going to give you unique abilities. And basically what's going to happen is you're going to start with the last player, hand them one for each player that there is, and then they're going to kind of reverse draft, right? So the first player is going to get the last 2 tokens. And then they've got these shame cubes up here, and that's the total amount of shame that you're going to start the game with. So you're going to get a nice little bonus, like everybody's going to get like an asymmetric player power, but you're going to...
Depending on how strong it is, you get a little bit more shame.
You're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it. Now, we did see one combination that seemed like a little intense, but again, this is a prototype of the expansion. But the treasure chests and all look really cool.
Yeah.
And the power chips look great. Chests, yeah. But I think that's basically everything that is in...
The expansion?
The expansion.
Okay.
And we've more or less... very briefly covered how to play regular Ostia. But yeah, guys, so we'll go around. This is just a Kickstarter preview for the expansion, but you can share your thoughts on like the base game as well, and some things you saw while you were playing it. We'll start with you, Bob.
Sure. So I really enjoy this. I haven't played many games with the Mancala. They laughed at me because I didn't know what that was or how it worked. But I did really enjoy how it all kind of shook out. I thought it was a good time. These pirates are super cool. Like the bits are just as fancy as the base game bits, which are great, even your little centurions and whatnot. So we did play through like the majority of like the base game, and then we kind of like reset it to try so we see how the expansion altered the game. And I did like how it made you deal with those pirates, and then you have this other thing you have to build besides just the building the ships. Now you have to get warriors too to fight these pirates, but you're getting rewarded for that. And you're getting those chests. You're trying to race to clear the chest and be the one to trigger the event and make sure you have the most of the items so you can get rid of your corruption, so you don't have to pay the money to get rid of that. And then being able to build different buildings to get another option to try to, I know I'm pushing shipbuilding, so I want to try to get this guy's going to ship's worth more, and this guy's going to give me like as if I had another ship, so it's going to be bonus points for that. That was enjoyable. I love pushing up this track. It's like a favoritism kind of track.
Yeah, the reward track.
Yeah, the reward track where you get to make all the stuff you're doing worth more points throughout the game, so you don't have to do quite as much of it to get points for it. But no, I enjoyed it. I think the expansion really enhanced the game for what it did, and I think that's, if you have experienced players, it's one of those expansions that you can just leave in, right? Like maybe like super new people, you might not want to keep it in there, but it is easy to remove as well, as you just don't put those boards out there. But then if you want to play with other people, it's just one of those abilities I think or expansions you can just leave in there and keep using. So
yeah, for sure. Spencer.
Yeah. No, I agree with most everything you said. I especially like the Mancala style. Unlike normal Mancala, where you are trying to attack the opposite row. So this one, when you land on something, you do that action. When you lift, you take the thing. And so you're going throughout trying to find really hard, how can I do the action I really need to do? And yeah, you have a little aneurysm, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle that you're trying to figure out, and there are certain ways, especially that administrative action. Kind of, for a few times it threw me for a loop, and then I realized it's so useful. And sometimes I didn't see it until the last second and went, oh, oh no, I want to do this one because it'll let me do the thing I was going to do and then more.
You could do out, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. I do think that the pirate expansion is really good. I don't think it is too complicated to really just leave it out. Unless you're like a really beginner, even an intermediate gamer would probably be just fine leaving this in. And I very much enjoyed I know there's a prototype, but the pieces are great.
Those ships are fantastic.
The ships are fantastic.
Yeah, they look great.
These guys, the art is fantastic so far. If this is what it looks like, I would be super happy. And the one caveat we have the powers that you start off with. Yeah, some of them combinations might not be fair, if that's the way to put it. But yeah, they're good. I want to try more of them and see what else there is.
Yeah, more combinations.
Because I have a feeling
there's a bunch we didn't
lot
use.
more. Yeah, I know. There's so many. I just want to see what we can do, and you really, when you look at it, you're not going to be able to really figure it out until you play with it a few rounds. But other than that, yes, I really like the expansion, and I would keep playing with it.
For sure. Daniel.
I have only positive things to say about the expansion here. This is a fantastic expansion. If you've already played and liked Ostia, or if you're looking at it and you think it looks good, just pick up the expansion. It just adds, it does just two big compliments. It does two things, which is exactly what you want an expansion like this to do. First of all, I agree that it just slide it right in. I could barely even feel like there was an expansion there once we added it in. It just felt like a part of the game that added some interest to some of the decisions, which goes into the second thing. This is a dry, thinky Euro when you get down to it. And what people like about dry, thinky Euros, Jason from Board Game Mechanics, would love this game. What you want is you want to look at the board, you want to see all these decisions, and you want to go through, okay, what is in 3 turns, what will this possibility give me? And you want to look at all these things, you want to say, okay, there's A, B, and C are my options. Okay, these are all good options. What do I need right now? I think I need A right now, and that'll set me up for B. That's what you usually want. And then what these expansions do, what this combo little expansion set does, is it says, okay, now you have A, B, and C. Okay, now here's the negative if you take A, but also if there's this slight positive that also comes with it as well. Okay, now you're looking at B. Here's the consequence to taking B, but it also adds this as well, and it makes it literally doubles how deep every decision is that you're making. Oh man, you can go and you can make these ports, then you get these buildings, and you can lower your actions. Incredible thing to have in a Euro with your own little personal Moncala board you're manipulating. Oh, what a fulfilling little thing you're doing down here. Or now you can put your building over there, and that gets you this really cool benefit that can wind up being game changing, but it means you're literally actively hurting your engine over here because you're not upgrading it. And in a game like this, in a tight Euro, if you're not upgrading something, you are actively hindering yourself. And you have to realize, is that worth it? You have the pirate ships here, right? Okay, so in the base game, you have to get the movement, you have to go to the ports, you have to get to the end, and you have to spend iron and stuff to build buildings and stuff like that. That's all good. That's all good decisions. Okay, now you have to have enough warriors to fight off the pirates in order to even go that far. Okay, is it worth me spending my time to build up my swords this turn in order to move where I want, or is it more efficient for me to just take a different route and not waste my time, quote unquote, building those swords? This expansion is a fantastic expansion. When I look at what the base game is, and then you say, here's what it adds, it is not only positive, but it's the positives you want in a game like this. It doesn't like add something that's like, oh, the designers thought this was cool and it doesn't fit in this game at all. Right. It's not like they randomly added in dice that you roll that do some crazy thing, or they were like, oh, now here's this tower that you add in that does this thing, and oh, well, that's fun, but how does it fit into here? Every single thing was clearly thought out and put in this game because it made thematic sense, and it made, I don't even know the term for it. It made sense mechanically. You want this mechanic? Let's upgrade that mechanic slightly. You like this mechanic? Let's upgrade that part of the game slightly. That's what everything here does, and it's fantastic. So my final words on that is just, yeah, if you're getting the game, get the expansion. It's fantastic. The only other thing I'll throw in is base game is fun. I also, like them, I really love the production design here. I was joking with Tim earlier because I love everything. This board looks awesome. This main board looks awesome. The components are great. And then I hate this track. It's like this weird off yellow, like this light pastel colored track. And every time I look at it, I'm just like, I hate you.
Which explains why you barely moved up.
I'm not going to touch that.
What was your score?
But yeah, I mean, so you have an interesting set collection system. You have interesting end game score collecting system. You have kind of this like scythe-like scoring thing where you're going up and you're adding multipliers to your thing. And then at the end of the day, listen, Mancala is a fun, fascinating mechanic.
Yeah.
It's outdated, you know, like if you're just playing Mancala, yeah, sure, it's you know, if it's like if you sat down and just played backgammon, you're like, hey, granddad, let's play your favorite game kind of thing. But it's a fantastic thing. I mean, 5 Tribes was famous for a reason. It's a fantastic mechanism to take and put in a game because it's all about math and timing and trying to figure out how you can manipulate your own player board. And in a dry Euro, you want to be able to manipulate your own player board and control yourself without all these players messing with you, while also having this really surprisingly deep system here with the fact that what you collect and what action you take. Just by adding those two things, it's like, oh my god, there's so much to do on my turn. Or like sometimes you're gonna have turns where you're like yep.
Yeah.
I'm done. But then next turn you're like, and it's just fantastic. So yes, Ostia, good game with the expansion, fantastic experience. I recommend it.
I really like it's base game talk, but like how they use the same basic resource to represent all the resources. That like saved time. Like I know it's still kind of a long game, but yeah, it made it super easy to swap in. Oh, I'll pay 2 of these to gain 2 of these. Just move those cubes over. You're not like going back and fishing out different types of resources and this and that. It really kind of helped to streamline that process a little bit.
It really does.
And you'd mentioned how no one's messing with the board. Yeah, there's not a lot of gotcha in this game, if any, really going after each other directly. So that really means you can think really far ahead.
Yeah, it's really just the race that's happening out here.
That race is what making really
the only gotcha kind of thing, and it doesn't really feel bad, I don't think, like some of them can, is in the expansion when you get when you can trigger some of these events, so you can give somebody some extra shame cubes, right? But that again doesn't like. It's not like it jacks up your whole round, all your planning. And so, yeah, everything these guys said. Ostia is very cool, and I really loved the thinky puzzle of just the base game. And then you add this like extra layer that kind of transcends this game to like a different level for me. I thought it was really good. I would feel like the base game, there's tons of replayability anyways, but the extra puzzle, the extra asymmetric player powers, right? More than just the card setup, you know, but like all of that added, you know, there's tons of these different event tiles, you know, there's different Roman city, you know, tiles you can get. So it just gives you a lot of replayability over and over. Your games are going to feel different. The board gets seeded differently every time. You know, also...
So you're not doing the same routes and the same thing every time.
Right. You know, you're going to get different benefits at different places. I really like the challenge that the pirates add because of like, well, it's kind of like Dan said, do I really want to invest like in all of this just so I can move past this one port? Is that worth it? Is that what I need to do? Answer is yes. But for me, I found like as early on as I could get the Legionnaire, so then I could at least ignore
those basic pirates.
The basic pirate costs, right? And even the first couple of rounds of the red pirates, you know, to just try to get through was very beneficial.
I was trying really hard to get that 4th one. I couldn't do it though.
But yeah, I mean, it was tough though. It's tough to get the weapons. Yeah, I missed it. I beat everybody by 100 points. But yeah, it was very cool. And again, right, I constantly was struggling, well, do I place a building up here?
Yeah.
No, I need to make my engine better down here. And where I did make my engine better, it was very helpful. It was very helpful.
Yeah.
But then, I mean,
for cheaper.
I looked up there and I was like, I need to have a set, and I only have half the set. And oh, look, the other half is right there, and it's 12 points.
Yeah, it's worth
12 points is worth it.
For 2 wood.
Or whatever, you know.
And this does a thing where I know Dan likes, he said it in other reviews, is that you get a ton of points. You know, like there's a ton of points. There's like tons of fun combos that you can kind of build up to. Like, oh, well, now I got this. That's going to allow me to do this. You know, and so that always feels good. Most of the turns, yes, there's going to be some times where you're like, I've got to just
set up a turn.
I've got to set up a turn. But the other thing I really liked was that most of the time, like while the guys are taking their actions, I could just sit here and focus on my board.
You have to.
And really try to just have a pretty good idea of what you're going to do. Because the only thing that's going to change is that maybe some of those cards in the market change or go away.
Right.
And honestly,
And you might get like one extra coin if someone builds on top of your building or something.
And, right, and that probably isn't gonna
Make or break it.
make or break your turn. Everything is different. Oh,
I can't give him a coin. I
how
can't build
dare
there.
you? That's a gotcha. How dare you add coins to my supply?
You
Now
ruined
I-
my plan.
Cheating.
now I don't know how to spend them. But no, very satisfying.
I do like a game with a high score count, right?
Yeah.
And collectively, we scored over 1,000 points.
Yeah, I tend to like that. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Dune Imperium is one of my
Sure.
favorite
Just
games,
add
and
a
it has
zero
10
in.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I tend to like it. I also like just some of the small thematic stuff squeezing here. I joked about it the second we started playing. I love that the more treasure we have, the pirates get pissed off and they're stronger.
They
Like,
get stronger.
they get angry. They're like, they're taking all our treasure.
or you're just fighting harder because you're bigger targets, right?
Yeah, because they really want it. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But there's some of that stuff just sprinkled in here because again, it is purposely a thinky dry Euro, but that doesn't mean they can't have some fun with it, you know, with the theming of the pirates and everything. So
And you know, like you guys said, the awesome thing about this kind of expansion is it goes into the base game so easily.
Right.
Like it's really pretty straightforward. If you were teaching somebody new, basically, I mean, you could go, well, we'll play a round of the base
Right.
if you
So
needed
you
it.
can kind of figure out how this works,
Right.
and then like we'll reset and put the pirates on.
yeah, like if
and,
someone
you
had
know,
never played
a Mancala game.
Mancala,
Yeah,
It happens.
But I mean, it literally added 20 minutes to the experience.
Yeah.
And you know, like.
And that makes the much longer game more enjoyable if you've got a clue as to what's going on.
Yeah, and also though, I feel like unlike some dry Euros that take a long time, I feel like there's a lot of room to kind of move and adjust.
Yes.
and I like having wiggle room. I don't like a game where you
Correct.
have to be on one track and
Yes.
that's it. This
Right.
is not a solvable.
yeah, follow the
game.
beagle.
Well,
Yeah.
It's going right down there, Tim.
Yeah.
Keep up, Tim.
This isn't a solvable game, and I really appreciate that. You know, that
Unsolvable.
extra variability.
I want to show off that tray really quick because it's so cool.
With the
Yeah, I
boat.
just want to get it under the camera. Look how cool that component tray is. Look at that top down. Ooh, it's so cool. Anyway, that's it.
But yeah, no.
And it's got covers too, so when you load it up with stuff, you put the cover on there, and it keeps the bits from going all over.
But I really enjoy the graphic design of this.
Yep.
For the prototype, this is one of the best looking prototypes I've
Oh,
seen.
yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And I also like how I'm never bored. Even if I'm losing, I'm still having fun because I'm solving my own personal little puzzle. It's still
Yeah.
fun.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah. I was very invested, like during the downtime of
Yeah.
the turns. Like, just okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
And you can do some things to help with the downtime too. Like, so somebody's doing a bunch of trading stuff. It's like that's not going to affect anybody. I'm just figuring out what I'm trading for. You can go ahead and start your
yeah.
turn, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Little
it
things
helps
like
keep
that.
the game moving.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, you're taking that?
Oh, I mean, I guess I'll change my
trade
mind.
this.
But yeah, this was overall just a really great experience.
Yeah,
I
it was
really,
fun.
really enjoyed it. They did send us this, just so you know. This is unpaid, but they did send us a copy of the base game with the prototype. But yeah, a lot of fun. Really good. Really, really good. Looked good. It just added to the everything.
I've been asking for more pirate games.
Yep.
I mean, yes, at the end of the day, this is a trading Euro game, but there's pirates in it.
Pirates.
Yeah, you know, it's whatever. It's a pirate
And
game.
those are
right.
pretty pirates.
All right. Anybody else have anything else they want to
I
add?
don't think so. Just
Replayability.
Yeah, next game, let's play with 4 of each.
dude, I'm in. How many points did you say I had?
Start off with 20 of the negative 7 points.
If you guys found this video useful, please consider liking, subscribing, doing all the things. Ring the bell so you get notification when new videos come up. We also do have a Patreon page if you would like to support the show financially, but you don't have to do that. We'll just hang out, drop us a comment. That's really great. We appreciate that too. We have a very active Discord channel. Join up, hang out with us there, ask us questions. And yeah, we do a live stream every Wednesday evening as well. So stay tuned for that. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
For the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
Spencer.
Daniel.
Arr.
We're not pirates.
We were
We don't play as
We're-
pirates in this game.
I'm joining up. I like plundering.
They're just sitting there getting treasure. I'm having to work for mine.
I've been conscripted.